What we do here is go back.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Mello. Now, y'all know over here we like to talk about everything black, right? But sometimes we gotta talk a little bit about some of that too. This also officially marks my 100th video here on YouTube. And I just wanted to thank everybody who's ever tuned in and everyone who's subscribed to the channel. You know, I know there's growing pains that come with supporting a small channel, but it really does mean a lot to us that are small and that are still growing. Cheers to 100 videos, and I can't wait to see what the next 100 bring, you know, God willing. So it was recently reported that Gypsy Rose is getting a divorce from her husband, Ryan. Now, this may or may not come as a surprise to some, as some people did find it a little strange that he wanted to marry her in the first place. Now, some people swore he didn't love her and that he's only in it for the clout. Others, like me, we didn't give a damn either way. But from what I saw, it did seem like he cared about her. And it also seemed like the two of them enjoyed each other's company.
Hey y'all, so this is car karaoke with Gypsy and
Ryan. Not really. Not me.
we're gonna sing, and I promise you it's not gonna be great. I'm not a good singer, so don't judge me.
Now, for those of you who don't know, Gypsy Rose is famous for unaliving her mother. She was convicted of second-degree murder and served 8 years in prison. She was recently released in December of 2023 and has been in the headlines ever since. Now, a little background story on Gypsy. Back in the day, her mother would often lie and say Gypsy had all these medical things going on with her. Health issues like muscular dystrophy, and said that Gypsy even needed a walker. Around the age of 8, Gypsy got into a small car accident with her granddad, and from there, her mom would say that she would need a wheelchair. Now, as crazy as that sounds, it's just the beginning. Gypsy and her mother ended up losing their home due to Hurricane Katrina, and then they moved to Missouri. While there, she was honored as a feeding tube recipient and even won Child of the Year in 2007. Now, keep in mind, Gypsy didn't need this feeding tube at all. Habitat for Humanity ended up building her and her mom a home with a ramp included, even though Gypsy didn't need the wheelchair and could walk. Her mother would do other things like shave her head to make her look like a cancer patient, and while out in public, her mom would bring an oxygen tank and a feeding tube to keep up the illusion that Gypsy had all these health issues. I mean, talk about brainwashing and manipulation. It's also reported that Gypsy's mom abused her to sort of keep her in check. Now, somewhere down the line, Gypsy's mom forged a copy of her birth certificate, and it said that for 14 years, Gypsy didn't even know her real age. Now, fast forward somewhere in 2012, Gypsy meets a man by the name of Nicholas. Now, they met on a Christian Singles website. It's noted that Nicholas already had a criminal history, and he also has a history of mental health. It's stated that he was on the autism spectrum as well. Now, they first met at a movie theater, and according to Nicholas, Gypsy led her into a bathroom where the two of them had sex. And I ain't mad. Look, I know that's right, Gypsy. Get in where you fit in. But fast forward, they continued their online relationship where they planned to unalive Gypsy's mom. In 2015, after Gypsy's mom went to sleep, Gypsy lit Nicholas in and allegedly gave him a pair of gloves, duct tape, and a knife. After that, it said Gypsy went into the bathroom so she couldn't hear her mom scream. Nicholas ended up stabbing her mom 17 times in the back. Afterwards, it's reported that the two of them had sex in Gypsy's room, and then they stole around $4,000 from her mom. Now, I'm not saying I agree with Gypsy, but look, who knows what I would have done in that situation? I mean, a feeding tube, you shaving my head, and you also abusing me? I mean, somebody gotta pay for that shit. So after a while, some friends were starting to see some Facebook posts from the mom that started to concern them. They ended up doing a wellness check on Gypsy and her mom, but no one answered the door. After a while, they ended up calling the police, but the police had to wait for a search warrant. Once they got in, they then discovered Gypsy's mom's body. Friends and family ended up setting up a GoFundMe in thoughts that Gypsy would need the support, and remember, at this time, no one knew what really happened. Now, a friend of Gypsy's ended up knowing about Gypsy's secret boyfriend, and she ended up telling the police about him. The police ended up asking Facebook to track the IP address of where the post from Gypsy's mom was coming from, and that led them to Wisconsin. They ended up raiding Nicholas' home where they found the two of them, and the two of them then ended up surrendering. Fast forward, Gypsy was sentenced to 10 years in prison where she ended up serving 8. Nicholas, who was the one who unalived her mother, he ended up serving life in prison, plus he got an additional 25 years. Now that brings us to present day. In 2022, Gypsy ended up marrying Ryan. After being released from prison, Gypsy ended up releasing a book, and she appeared on multiple media outlets. She was on Good Morning America, The View, CNN. But recently in March of 2024, Gypsy ended up deleting all of her social media accounts. And she announced that she was splitting from her husband. I think the fact that the general public made Gypsy famous for unaliving her mother, it's pretty telling. Now again, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's right, but something had to give. Everyone has their breaking point. Gypsy eventually met hers and formed a plan to axe her mama. But the obsession with her and making her famous, that's not something I understand. Nor is it something I really supported. They say when people go into prison, they come out with the same mindset they went in with. You know, while Gypsy may have been in her 20s when she entered prison, her mother always made her act and portray herself as a young teenage girl. Not to mention all the trauma that Gypsy never got to heal from. From the time her mother was unalive, Gypsy went straight to prison. Then she was released and was pretty much famous overnight. Gypsy never got a chance to just sit down and even process everything. I can say that her whole rise to fame was something out of a movie. I mean, this woman even had beef brewing with Miss Natalie Nunn. Now, Natalie is famous for being on Bad Girls Club and now Baddies. When I saw this clip of Natalie trying to beef with Gypsy, I done about fell out. Check this out.
I have never, in the day of my life, messaged, what's her name?
Gypsy Rose.
Gypsy Rose. I've never messaged Gypsy Rose a day in my life until this morning. And I said, you killed your mama, hoe? Oh. That's crazy. Now, you might need to be on the next season of Baddies, and I ain't gonna hold you, but, bitch, we gotta get the lawyers together for that. Because, bitch, you was crazy.
Just a mess. Now, I'm not exactly sure what the future holds for Gypsy, but I definitely wish her the best, and I do wish her healing in all of her trauma. I think she made the right decision to delete her social media and focus on recovery. Now, as much as I am in support of Gypsy Rose recovering from her trauma, y'all better watch her ass. I mean, she did unalive her mom. I don't know about y'all, but I would be on my P's and Q's around her. She the type to take you out when you least expect it. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to go ahead and give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down if that's okay too. Don't forget to drop a comment down below. Now, what do you think about Gypsy being involved in the unaliving of her mom? What do you think you would do if you were in that situation? And as always, if you're not already, please make sure to go ahead and subscribe to the channel and make sure to hit that post notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos. I hope everyone has a great rest of their day, and I'll catch you all on the next one.